Right, have we got sound now? Oh, let's see. Is my microphone working now? Please let me know. This is such a pain. It should be working. Etsy God's turned the sound off. Guys, can we let me know that no audio? There it is. Yes, we're back. Thank you. Yes, it wasn't the Etsy Gods. I had said such good things there. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, my software that controls my mic randomly turns itself off. So if sound goes, just tell me and I need to switch that off. Right. Shall we start again with what I said? Yeah, so I started a little bit late because I was going down a rabbit hole trying to find things. So for those of you who don't know or who couldn't lip read the earlier start, this morning, Josh Silverman made a video and talked about some changes, some updates they're making to Etsy. There is, oh, so true, Susanna. I've been swithering between, I put the title up big changes because I felt it was big changes. And then everyone was telling me, no, it's barely any changes at all. And then I've been digging into it a bit deeper, looking at some of the policies that have been changed. Really annoyingly, these policies haven't been archived in the Wayback Machine, but I've got some glimpses into what the policies used to say, so we can actually look into what has there's been some sneaky changes to things that haven't been allowed to be sold before, I'm pretty sure, and that now are being allowed to be sold, which I don't think many people are going to be happy with that. We're wanting a lot of this stuff taken off. But there's some good stuff. There's some stuff, like any change, there's going to be happy people, there's going to be angry people, and in the middle there's going to be a whole bunch of confused or don't really care type people. Yeah. So we'll have to see. So I had another little technical thing there. Hopefully that's working now again. Yeah, I've been playing around with things, just checking everything behind the scenes is working. I'll just quickly have a look. A surprise Pam, says Anna, and love it, 90s person. This is going to be better than the football. I didn't know there was still football going on. I'm in Scotland. We were out ages ago and I didn't really watch it either. Okay, thank you all for letting me know that the sound went away. Right, let's have a look at the look. Let's have a look while the looking's good. Is that a saying? It is now. Pam invents her own. Okay, so I'll try and keep an eye out on the chat as well, but we've got a whole lot to get through here. So hit me up if you see any questions, or if I'm speaking nonsense, or if I'm not speaking at all. We've already had that one. So I'm not going to watch the video. You can watch the video. There's a link in the description here for this post. You can watch the video. He doesn't say much differently. As somebody said earlier, he looks tired. He kind of does look tired. Mind you, I'm pretty tired myself. I kind of feel, I don't, why'd you pick a Tuesday? But I was expecting in the next couple of weeks for them to be some updates, because the Etsy financial results for Q2 will be out in less than a month. So they usually release something just before the quarterly results, so they've got something to talk about to their investors, basically. But let's do the do here. Hi sellers, thanks for taking the time to watch. I'm so excited to bring our vision to life together and to double down on sharing your creativity with the world. In addition to the information I shared in the video, please read on for more details about how we're strengthening our commitment to creativity and keeping you, our sellers, front and center in everything we do. Oh, by the way, I'm tired, so my face will look more sarky, more salty than I mean it to. A lot of this is quite positive. It wouldn't be a life with me without a little bit of salty, but mainly it's positive. I'm just really tired. Embracing our past to inform our future. Since our earliest days, Etsy has been the home for creativity and self expression. We've proudly connected creative entrepreneurs like you with tens of millions of buyers around the world. And as we've grown, it's still our top priority to invest in Etsy for the long term so that your items can shine and you can find success on our platform for years to come. I hope that they really mean that. Here's some stuff they've done. Yeah, you can read that. It was 2014 that they began allowing production partners. So 2014 that the floodgates for print on demand opened. And I don't hate print on demand, not at all. I just hate that people are selling print on demand on Etsy as like this magic get rich quick scheme, and it's kind of flooding Etsy when print on demand could be a really cool thing. Anyway, introducing our new creativity standards, and they did mention in the last quarterly report that buyers wanted to know how handmade things were. So is this a step towards how handmade things are? Along our journey, we've heard both sellers and buyers, a need from both sellers and buyers to better understand what is allowed on Etsy and why. Very important. We recognise that in today's world, makers almost always use tools to bring their creativity to life. Sculptors and painters use chisels and paintbrushes, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, a little bit patronizing that, yes, we know nobody makes things like nobody is going out to the river, but very few people are going out to the riverbed, sourcing clay from the side of the riverbed, creating their own kiln, crushing up little beetles to make painty stuff. We all have sort of other people helping us along the way. We buy raw materials, but yeah. Anyway, furniture makers use power tools, and many artists today use digital tools such as computer aided and 3D printing techniques, print on demand tools, and most recently, Gen AI tools. Etsy do clarify their position on AI tools to bring human ideas into a visual form. The common thread that weaves through all of the creative goods allowed on Etsy is human imagination and involvement. We are and will remain the marketplace for original items from real people. So that is what they are saying. I don't hate the I don't hate the feeling there that Etsy wants to be the marketplace for original items from real people. I don't think anyone could argue with that. That sounds good. We have to see how they deal with it. Now, to reinforce what we stand for so that everyone comes to Etsy sees why we're different and what makes us special, not the cheapest, we've reorganized our policies into new creativity standards. To be clear, this is about This is about clarifying what's allowed on Etsy, not changing it. We're not allowing new items that were prohibited before. Yeah, you are. Hang around until we get to it, and then you guys can tell me. I think they are. Rather, the creativity standard underscores the specific work that a seller does for each item in our marketplace. All items on Etsy must be made by a seller, designed by a seller, sourced by a seller, handpicked by a seller. So we're going to go into that in a second, because I know these labels everyone's going to be worrying about where their stuff fits. And they're rolling out in our listing builders thingy. They're rolling out where we can put this, but currently Etsy is deciding for us based on historical things. So if you see your tag is wrong, if you see it saying designed by a seller when you feel it should be made by a seller or something like that, then contact Etsy. But they are rolling this out. So what we'll do, first of all, we'll dip into this article, and then the creative standards policy. I've already got it open. There's a reason why. But let's see. Melanie's asking, I kind of like the labels. At least it's more clear what is handmade. I wonder what AI should be labeled, though. Yeah, it is a good start. Already, I've been talking to some very intelligent people, and all of them are like, "Oh, this will be in this category," and I'm like, "Nope, nope, it's not in that category. It's in a different category." So we're all going to have to learn what the categories are. Before, it was kind of easy. It was it was handmade, vintage, craft supplies. But yeah, it's cool. Etsy being pro AI generative to create art for people instead of them being creative themselves is the real issue. They don't care about creatives or their IP, and it fumes me. I love it. It fumes me. It yeah. AI is a big issue. Not just Etsy. I get their stance, which is the sitting on the fence stance. I don't think AI is a horrible thing, but I think AI as it is just now is incorrect. And I super hate people can some people can write a prompt, get 40 different images, make 40 listings, and flood Etsy with that. That's not, I'm not saying I hate the AI people who take time into learning how to do prompts and then check the prompts, come back, maybe draw over it, correct it. That's work. But if they just go steampunk cat, oh great, I've got a shop with 40 steampunk cats, that fumes me also. It opens more doors to stolen art. I don't like it. Yep. Melanie, but made by AI should be a category to make it clear. Yeah, I think so. And Dulcie thinks it is according to the new video. Yeah, there's a reason so many artists are leaving Adobe. Oh, I can tell you, it's not AI. Adobe, who I'm still with, but in a different way. Adobe's a rip-off artists. Sorry, I said it. I'll just slightly go down that rabbit hole because I've got several computers that I edit on and stuff, and I hadn't read the policies. I bought Premiere and Photoshop Elements because I prefer to buy the whole bundle of stuff and own it rather than have the ongoing subscription. But I didn't realize that I could put them on multiple computers because I'm an idiot. So I bought the subscription as well, and the prices were getting higher and higher, and I'm like, this isn't offering me anything that Canva isn't offering me for a fraction of the price. So I went to cancel, and they're like, didn't you remember that you'd signed up for a yearly subscription? No, I did not. I was paying monthly, and I've been paying for a few years now. So they said they were going to charge me a massive, to pay off till the end of the year. I'm like, no. But then I found a link that said, oh, we might have a better subscription plan for you. How about this? So I looked at the subscription plan, and hilariously, I could change to the subscription plan, which for some reason refunded my previous month's payment. But it also had the clause at the bottom because I was moving to a new subscription plan, and it cancelled my old one without any extra fees. And I had a month's trial. I could cancel anytime within the month. So changed, cancelled, and then I got a discount to buy the elements. And that came into about the same as the refund I'd just got. Anyway, that's quite a aside. Yep. Made by or designed by. I wonder, will that accurately convey hand-drawn art on print on demand, for example? Yeah, it's all going to be in a similar category. We'll get into this in a second. Kristen, looking through my listings, they could tell the items I have that are POD and the ones that I make myself. The POD say designed by and the handmade say handmade. Oh, fantastic. Glad they've got that right for you. Created by EJF. I'm not in the right tax bracket to be able to afford Adobe. Exactly. It is so dear. It's true, but their licensing having to do with their AI is what started it all. Yeah. There's a new section of the core details on the form that ticks a box for AI generated versus made by me. That must be rolling out. I haven't seen that, K-Bizzle. Awesome. Affinity Pro is free for the next months, folks. Dulcie, thank you. Good to know. Melanie, POD would be designed by as the seller didn't make the item but did design it. Yeah. We're going to go into that in a second. I haven't remembered it all. Susanna, yeah, it's a monthly subscription, but with a yearly commitment. Yes, it's written in small letters and many people didn't realize it. Yeah, I think I did realize it like 3 years ago. Yeah, Siri as well. Thank you. Affinity is an alternative to Adobe and they have 6 months free trial. I'll tell you what I do for everything I'm doing. Most of the stuff I do on Canva. I'm a Canva ambassador as well, but for a tenner a month, I can do most of the things I need to. And then I have Adobe Elements, which gives me photo and video editing. So I can do like the clever grown-up stuff in Adobe and then take it into Canva and make it fun and have bubbles and put I'm a child. But yeah, that's what I do if anyone needs that. Affinity Design and Publisher are great replacements for Adobe Illustrator. Yep. One of the redeeming qualities of Adobe is they're willing to help you cancel if you purchase something you didn't want. I think in the first month, but there has been a lot of news articles on Adobe kind of locking you in. But yeah, so people are saying Affinity is cool. I've never used Affinity, but that's good. Right. So we jumped into this article, first of all. How Etsy is protecting creativity and self-expression. Our creativity in action. Etsy is the home for creativity and self-expression. We proudly connect small businesses like yours to buyers around the world. Since our start in 2005, the creative tools and technologies available have evolved. True? But we're staying true to who we are. We've always been the marketplace for original items from real people. That's why we've clarified our policies to transparently define what can be sold on Etsy, why, and your work as a seller. We've begun to highlight it in the shopping experience. Together, we'll strengthen our commitment to creativity in 2024 and beyond. So here's some of the things. We've clarified our policies on what belongs on Etsy. Buyers and sellers can consistently ask us to reinforce what we stand for and show why Etsy and every item you sell is different and special. We've restructured our house rules to include Etsy's creative standards. These lay out distinctive categories of unique items that can be sold in our marketplace based on the seller's role. And this is the thing, this is going to be shown to buyers. So we have to sort of educate buyers what these kind of things mean as well. Reflecting the evolving creative world we live in, we believe the following policy categories help protect and strengthen the magic of Etsy. Sorry, that did make me chuckle. So, made by seller are physical items crafted, altered, or assembled by a seller by hand or using tools they own, e.g., a 3D printer or a circuit machine. Circuit. It's a circuit machine, isn't it? I always call it a Cricut. I like the idea of a Cricut, but I always say it wrong. Designed by the seller. Original designs by a seller or seller-prompted AI art offered as digital download or produced printed by a third party. So if you're doing digital art, as digital download or print on demand, that's designed by a seller. I assume if you're doing digital art, printing out and selling it as a physical item yourself, that would be made by a seller. It gets confusing. Sourced by a seller, items that enable buyer creativity, such as craft supplies, party decorations, and items buyers can personalize and print on demand. So, yeah, items buyers can personalize and print on demand. So, sourced by the seller, that's... Get there in a minute, right? Handpicked by the seller, vintage items, items from nature, and certain collections of items selected and curated by a seller. Yeah, I'll go into this when there's more, but I wanted to do the items buyers can personalize and print on demand, because some people were saying to me that in the past, the policies as we believed it were that you couldn't, something had to be your own design, including a personalization. You couldn't just have your t-shirt, your name here and just have a name. It would have to be your font or something else. And I found the Wayback Machine hasn't saved this, but Google hasn't updated the snippet yet of what's underneath Etsy things. So when you look at the handmade policy, our house rules, it used to say from the 25th of May, 2023, simple customization such as selecting colors, shapes, or choosing from ready-made options is not considered design on Etsy. That's what they used to say, but I don't know. This now sounds like it could be something that could be sourced by a seller. Let me know what you all think as we get deeper into that. But just that is what the policy used to say. So I do think it's yeah, there we go. Melanie, sourced by, like the jewelry that can be personalized that sellers now claim is handmade when it's print on demand. Yeah, there are companies that do print on demand, as it were, jewelry. You select simple customizations, selecting colors, shapes, or choosing from ready-made options. That, I think that was clearly against the rules before. Anyway, shall we move on? I'm trying not to be salty. Don't be salty. In addition to our creativity standards, we have extensive policies designed to keep our users safe and our marketplace special, including specific criteria for using production partners. Oh, I didn't see that one. So, specific criteria for using production partners. Let's go there. Is this another new one? So you can use them. Yeah. Is there anything? Now that just tells you how to add them. Tell them about the production partners. Yeah, there's nothing special there. That's okay. We're fine. We also evolved our policies as new areas emerge for creativity, such as taking a clearer stance on the world of AI. Obviously, we've got to look at this. Anna, I'm confused. I'm wondering what hand-drawn digital art download, not clip art, would be categorized as example. Hand-drawn digital art, that would be designed by a seller. That comes in original designs offered as a digital download. It would be designed by a seller. Also, yeah, but I think it's handmade. But as a buyer, sourced to me means reselling, and that's not the seller designed the item. Print on demand should not be in sourced, it should be designed. How do Etsy get it wrong so much every time? Designed by a seller is print on demand, but items buyers can personalize and print on demand is sourced by the seller. So the regular, you design a thing and get a print on demand company to print it, is designed by a seller, but your buyer tells you the name they want put on a shirt and you get it from a print on demand company. That's sourced by a seller. And as far as let me know, like what I just showed you there, I believe that used to be against Etsy's rules. Anyway, so What's Etsy's stance on AI? Brand new article from Etsy. They dropped a lot of... That's probably why Josh was tired. They were dropping a lot of articles last night. At Etsy, we strive to support our creative community while embracing technological innovations in the arts. We recognise that many tools used by our sellers today, such as photo editing software, increasingly include AI capabilities that can enhance the creative process and open up new artistic possibilities. Well, it's true. I mean, Photoshop has been using what you could consider AI forever, like a clone stamp or something's using a bit of artificial intelligence. When artists use these AI tools, they still make creative decisions and contributions to guide the AI and carefully curate the output to produce unique finished works for sale. Okay, seller prompted AI creations. After carefully considering the complex issues surrounding AI-generated content, we've decided to continue to allow sellers to use their original prompts in combination with AI tools to create the artwork they sell on Etsy. Permitted examples of this might include a fantasy scene based on a seller's original prompt or input and produced by an AI generator, or a custom portrait of a buyer's pet generated using AI tools. Sellers must disclose within their listing description. So if you're doing this, it has to be in your listing description if an item is created with the use of AI. We believe this decision aligns with our values of supporting artists throughout the evolution of art. However, we understand there are important ongoing conversations regarding the training of AI models. Yeah. Including ethical questions about the use of copyright works and concerns about mitigating bias and negative environmental impacts. I don't think most of you are doing AI stuff, but I will say whatever the model spits out could be considered copyright infringing, IP infringing. It's up to you to check that your item is original. If it looks like it, some things, AI is getting cleverer, but if you can write a prompt in such a way that you get something that's almost an exact copy and it's close enough to be recognized as something, and that could be considered IP infringing. We believe this decision aligns. I've already read that bit. As such, we'll be closely monitoring developments in this rapidly evolving area, listening to feedback from our community and periodically reevaluating our policies. We're committed to striking the right balance between establishing our sellers to leverage new creative tools and technology while ensuring that Etsy remains a marketplace known for its original items from real people. Maintaining the trust of both our sellers and buyers will always be top priority. So, to me, that sounds like, to use a Scottish term, if you do AI art, your coat's on a sugary peg. They're monitoring developments. If the public tide turns against AI, I don't think Etsy would hesitate in ripping the rug out from that one and saying, let's stop doing this, or cracking down on this. So if you're doing AI things, make sure they're as handmade as they can be. Don't do super low effort things. I know many of you do. There's, apart from the ethical decision for how they're trained, which is not our arguments to make as such, but using a tool as a helper, using a tool to come up with ideas. I mean, I've used it. I've never come up with great ideas from it, but sometimes, I'm wanting to create something and I just can't get it in my head, and I'll ask AI, make me a dragon with white and purple hair or something. And it comes up with abominations. But people who are better might be able to get a decent original design from that and then be able to create it. Like, if I asked an AI for that and then needle felted it and it didn't look like it was a completely original thing that the AI gave me and I created it, I'd say that's pretty handmade. Yeah. Okay, just going to check the chat because I've got absolutely lost. Whoa, chat's been going fast. Sorry. Chatfully, sorry if I missed anything. Sorry, I'm reading and I can't talk at the same time. Melanie, sourced by used to be forbidden but now allowed, not designed print on demand, or at least looks like it. Anna, I'm learning to draw and paint. It's hard. I hear you. I'm trying to do needle felted paintings again, and it's everyone that's seen them go, it's really good. I'm like, it's really good if I was 7. But yes, Dulcie, Anna, at least you're doing it, and so proud, and your work will be better and more unique for it. Absolutely. And yes, show a video of you making it and maybe listing it. Yeah. Dulcie, it has a soul. Absolutely. Handmade stuff has a soul. I think, you know, like if your friend's doing pottery or something and makes you a slightly wonky mug, that'll be treasured way more than the thing that comes from somewhere that's been mass produced and looks exact like it's perfect, but it's soulless, or it's got a bit of love there. Leanne, sorry, I don't do names very well. I sell digital invite templates with created Fabrica elements. I make sure not to just use an element and sell it. And I thought this was okay, but with the new announcements, I'm no longer sure. Not sure. I agree, not sure. I thought it wasn't okay, but it might be now, but we'll dig into it. Someone remind me when we get to parts and we'll look into it. Yes, I think you can use elements. We'll look into it. I'm behind on the policy. Cons, how bad if I bought clip art from an Etsy seller and have a commercial license? Can I use it on my welcome signed digital template, and will it still be designed by me or sourced by me? I think these things are, there's no way of having categories that absolutely fit everyone. I guess it depends how much you designed it. Like if you have a sign and you buy a clip art and just go doof on it, then that's probably sourced by you. But if you have several elements and you bring them all together into a design, then that's probably designed by you. We'll look into it more. Yeah, Dulcie, yeah, AI art is not good for the planet. Its impact is worse than crypto. Yeah. I don't know how Etsy can be for this, as they claim to be eco-friendly. Yeah. I can't speak for Etsy, but most companies claim to be eco-friendly when buyers like eco-friendly, the greenwashing thing. Most companies are money friendly, and if the money is saying be eco-friendly, they throw a bit of lip service at it. Melanie, thanks for popping in. I have to watch the replay later. Oh, Patricia, all my new listings say designed by versus made by. It's bound to get them wrong. I don't think mine have changed yet. But when I looked earlier today, they hadn't changed. But if your listings are saying the wrong thing, tell Etsy. Anna, still confused by the first listing image for digital downloads. There's only a blanket statement on that policy. Also, digital item shown in the video was on canvas, not in digital form. Yeah, Etsy has changed what they're saying about that for sure. We'll go into that. Yeah, AI prompt bundles. I don't even need to read this bit out loud. You can't sell AI prompt bundles on Etsy. Etsy is not allowing that, which used to be a big thing. People would sell a bundle of prompt bundles. For those that don't know, is the sentences you type into AI to get the AI to do a thing for you. And I know that people sort of really worry about how to use the AI, but you just talk to it. That's the point. They're large language models. You just say, I want this, this, and this, and it comes back with something, and you go, no, that was a bit rubbish. Can you do it a bit more like this? Just talk to it like it's an assistant that you don't like very much. Or if you're worried about the robot revolution, if you watched a lot of Terminator when you were younger, you can say please and thank you, but talk to it like you would a human. Just, yeah, it's pretty good with that. And if the AI generated art shows nudity or anything, I can't say that word because YouTube keeps demonetizing stuff. But if there's any nudity, then you have to look at the prohibited items policy on what's allowed nudity wise, and that was just updated last week. Yeah. Okay, back to here. We allow AI generated art where a seller utilizes their unique creative lens and abilities, in addition to being transparent about their policy. We don't offer prompts. We strongly encourage you to review Etsy's creativity standards. So shall we jump over to this? But this is what it used to say. Bear in mind, used to say simple customization such as selecting colors or shapes or choosing from ready-made options are not considered design on Etsy. That's what it used to say anyway. Etsy's creative standards. I'll just check the chat. Oh, Dulcie, when I worked for Lennox China, I learned they used designed in the USA on the back stamp. They used that to cover up the made in China underneath. I'm glad Etsy's encouraging transparency. So many people thought Lennox items were made here, but the blanks aren't. Absolutely. Most companies outsource their stuff. It's cheaper to print it in a different country and ship it in. Well, not print it, create it in a different country. So even if you use a print on demand provider in your own country, they're probably shipping in the mugs and stuff from somewhere that make them cheaper. There's a bunch of YouTube videos if you need help crafting an AI prompt for specific things. Absolutely. But I would say just get out there and do it, because the AI can't laugh at you unless you use the, what was it, the Ouija AI, the Glaswegian AI. He was hilarious. That was I can't remember if that was the exact name, but it was a Glasgow-based AI that was just absolutely rude to you and hilarious. I spent way too long on that. Unfortunately, with any of the special AIs, when you chatted for it too long, it defaulted back. But initially, when it was talking pure Scots to you, it was funny. Anyway, sidetracked again. Etsy's mission is to keep commerce human. We're the marketplace for original items for real people. We stay true to this by connecting buyers with unique items made, designed, handpicked, or sourced by creative sellers around the world. As part of our terms of use, this outlines the types of items you're allowed on Etsy in support of our mission. By listing items for sale on Etsy, you agree to this. So we believe that every item on Etsy should reflect the creativity of our community. Items on Etsy represent a range of creative endeavors. Blah, blah, yeah. So this goes into more depth about what these things are. So this is the bit that everyone wants. Made by a seller. Physical items made by a seller's hand or by using personal or computerized tools. So yeah, computerized tools does sound like digital art, but not if it's digital downloaded. We'll see. Items made by a seller include only. I've never seen something say that. Include only. Because the thing is, things have different levels of handmade-itis. So it's really difficult to put a blanket thing on that belongs in that exact category. Handcrafted items. Items crafted entirely by hand, including using handheld or hand-guided tools like a sewing machine or a table saw, from raw or basic craft materials. For example, a wooden chair built by hand with a power saw and a sander, ceramic pottery thrown on a wheel. Hand altered items, commercially available base items that a seller altered using specialized handcrafting skills. Hand embroidering flowers onto a tote bag, reupholstering a piece of furniture with new fabric. Hand assembled items, commercially available supplies or components that a seller attached together or combined by hand to create a unique end product. For example, jewelry, using jewelry making tools to attach charms to a necklace chain or sewing patches onto a denim jacket. Items produced using computerized tools, physical items that a seller produced in their personal shop or home using computerized tools such as laser printer, 3D printer, or CNC or Cricut machines. These items may be produced based on the seller's original design or using templated design or pattern. These and are often personalized or customized to a buyer's specification. Okay, so you could get designs and print them out on your 3D printer or your Cricut machine yourself, if you know, even bought designs. So that would still count as handmade. For example, clothing embroidered by a seller using computerized embroidery machine, tumblers decorated with vinyl stickers printed by Cricut machine, wedding invitations designed by a seller using software and printed onto stationery using a laser printer. Yeah. I'm just checking the chat again. Kristen can't imagine ChatGPT laughing at me. Oh, he swore at us and everything. Dulcie, I remember having full-on conversations with Tom from MySpace's auto response in his messenger. He always responded with an enthusiastic "woo." Well, my friend, many years ago, this would have been the late 90s, I think. My friend bought a computer and it had we didn't know to call them AI, but it had an AI psychiatrist in it. It was hilarious. It would do the and what problems and what was your relationship with your father or your mother and do all this. But it was kind of really good. And every time she talked to it, it kind of hit on her. And every time my other friend talked to it, it told her to dump her boyfriend. Don't know how that worked. It wasn't really AI. We didn't have AI that far back, but it was hilarious. Cons, you're so welcome with me answering your question. Jill, I design and make all my products. Will Etsy give us an option to choose both? No, I sort of get the feeling that handmade by is like the top tier. So if your item counts in, if your one item counts in a couple of categories, you pick the top tier one. So if you've designed it and then made it from the design you've made, then it's a handmade item, I think. Created by AGF. But if you're painting a canvas, are you repurposing the canvas or handmade? I've been hand painting Lazy Susans lately, but I have a hard time taking things like this too literally. By the sounds of it, this would fit under the handmade banner. Dulcie Clippy was my psychiatrist. Oh, I hated that little paper clip. Mainly because I can't spell for toffee, and it would pop up and it'd be like, looks like you might be trying to write a letter. Like, yes. Do you need some help with? Like, yeah, need a lot of help with everything. But yeah, Clippy was kind of cool, but he always seemed to pop up when I was really struggling. Not to help, but just to look down on me from its little corner and laugh at the number of red wavy lines. How far had I got to here? Oh, yeah. The following are examples of items that don't qualify as made by a seller. Yeah, when I said handmade there, made by a seller is what I meant. An item assembled by a seller per the manufacturer's instructions, e.g., flat pack furniture or Lego set. Were people selling flat? I know people. There used to be a guy in my street that used to. His entire job was when people bought stuff from IKEA, they would phone him up and he would put it together. But I didn't know people put flat pack furniture together and then sold it as a finished piece, because the whole idea is that it's easier to ship when it's flat packed. Anyway, I suppose that might be an argument. A lot of the sort of drop shipped stuff on Etsy was mass produced stuff, but like shelves and things, that's probably what they were, flat pack furniture. Adding simple stick-on adornments such as commercially available stickers, stamped or rhinestones to a commercially available base item. I wonder when they say stick-on adornments like rhinestones, if already the blinged up Starbucks cups weren't allowed because of the IP of Starbucks, that kind of thing. I wonder if that's saying none of the bejazzling type things are allowed. That's difficult to say. I mean, a stick-on rhinestone, but if you've got 200 stick-on rhinestones in many colors that become the 3D art, is that also not allowed? Listings for items made by a seller must use original photo or video content of the final product. When listing personalized or custom items such as monogrammed or engraved accessories, your first image must show a finished customized item rather than the blank product or a placeholder text. So listing image requirements, they have changed this as well since Saturday. I was talking about this on Saturday. So shall we dive into this? Dulcie got good grades from Clippy, but he couldn't do maths homework. Created by EJF, was having trouble on one of those prove you're a human things where you can pick all the squares with a bike car. And my friend finally said, answer it like a human, not a computer. Yet it is really bad when you fail at proving you're a human, isn't it? Julianne, I'm so not motivated in continuing my Eatseeing. They don't even show my listings. 250 pages checked, all keywords used, checked in different states, different countries, and paying ads. I'm not going to say Eatsy's not hard. I wish I could say Etsy wasn't hard, but Etsy's hard. Right, let's dip into listing image. What page are we looking at just now? Etsy's creativity. Just remember to come back to it. We're doing the rabbit hole. So they have changed this a wee bit. So this is legal policies on Etsy. So when creating your listings, you must use your own photos, either photos you took yourself or had someone take for you. These photos should showcase the actual finished product that you made, designed, handpicked, or sourced. By accurately portraying the condition, quality, and quantity of your items, you help build trust with buyers. That's interesting, saying accurately portraying the quantity of your items. So if you're only selling one of something, you probably shouldn't have your first picture with a bunch of them saying you're getting that one. Exceptions. In certain situations, using original photos of the exact item may not be possible. You can use stock photos in some limited circumstances where you're offering either a personalized, customized item or an item made with a production partner, as discussed below. And this is big. They have really changed what they're saying for production partners. They've changed it compared to what I just heard from Etsy like last week. And so I've got back to my contact with Etsy and asked them, what does this mean? Don't hold your breath. It will probably take like a month for them to get back to me, but I'm doing what I can. So, photos of personalized or customized items. For personalized or customized items, example custom drawings, monogrammed accessories, or t shirts featuring a buyer's custom text, your first image must feature a finished customized item similar to what buyers will receive. This helps buyers visualize what their custom made item will look like when completed. It's prohibited to use a photo of the blank product or a mock up with a placeholder, e.g., your text here, as the main image. Okay. Computer generated mock ups may be used in additional listing images, not your first picture, to showcase customization options. Just make sure your first image is the real deal. If you'd like to use a buyer's review photo as your listing image, you need permission from the buyer. Okay, so I hope that is clear. Photos of items made with production partners. Oh, and by the way, Etsy did say similar to me. And if you're doing like digital items, your first image has to be just of your item. This is what Etsy told me, not like a mock up of what they could print out and put on their wall. Photos of items made with production partners. When working with production partners, the requirement for listing photos vary depending on the item. If you design a unique item, such as a piece of furniture, clothing, or a book, and by unique item clothing, they're not talking about print on demand on a clothing, as far as I can see. They're talking about you have a manufacturer making t-shirts for you, and a production partner manufactures it. Use a real photo of the physical end product. If you create an original design, such as artwork or a pattern, that a production partner prints onto a base item like a t-shirt or a mug, you may use a stock photo mock-up to illustrate the end product you will receive. Until today, Etsy used to say you had to use the photo mock-up that was provided by your production partner. Now they've changed that. So that's good. And Anna saying, what do you think this means for mock-up sellers? Etsy's just said, I am checking for updates on this, but Etsy has said people doing print on demand may use a stock photo mock-up to illustrate the end product buyers will receive. There's nothing about having to use the stock photo mock-up that comes from the print on demand partner. So I think this is good news for mock-up sellers. If I remember correctly, Etsy mentions them later, but this has changed. And it's good, but I'm enough into this that Etsy won't see this bit. But and if you're watching, hiya Etsy. But it's almost ironic. I have a contact with Etsy just now because months ago I made a video on how terrible Etsy customer support was with me by giving me conflicting and wrong information. Etsy customer support, I made the video from that. Etsy saw this, and some support managers got in touch with me and said they'd saw that and they're very sorry and everything, and could they help me with anything else? So I said, well, there's this print on demand issue. And they went away and they got back to me with the advice that you could only, for your first photo, you could only use the mock-ups that came from the print on demand companies. However, lots of people were getting back to me and telling me that Etsy had told them a completely different thing. And now only last week, they doubled down on that with me and said that's the thing. And to be honest, they kind of had to be aware that this change was coming, because they talked about as well, if you were doing personalized custom things, it couldn't be the blank item or the thing with your text here as the first picture, and that's a new change as well. So they knew this change was coming, but they doubled down saying that the mock-up had to come from the print on demand company, but now it doesn't say that. Hi, Julian. How do you contact them? By chat? Generally by chat. Some of the, I think it's the first article that I've linked in the conversation in the description here has a thing at the bottom saying they're looking for feedback. So when they make a change, there's usually a thing saying, contact us for feedback, so you can do that. Me personally, I have an email thing with one of the Etsy people. It's just a Zendesk customer support thing, but it goes directly to the one person I'm talking to. Brenda, almost sounds like the right hand doesn't know what the left hand is doing and vice versa. I get that. It's a big company, and as companies get bigger, that's something. I also work for eRank, if you don't know, and eRank's growing all the time, and that's something we're sort of having to work between us to make sure that we're not falling into that trap, because it's really easy. I'm horrible at working with people. I like to sit in my little corner and do my own thing, and now I've got to remember to tell people what I'm doing. So I get it. Etsy is a massive company, but yeah, it's ironic that they contacted me because of a complaint I had and then did the very thing that I complained about. That is real irony. Julianne, I'm on all my pictures and I design all my pieces. Sounds handmade to me. Amanda, when are they putting up the fees because they did all this for us? I don't want to say that I'd like to say they're not going to put up the fees. They definitely, in the webinars, did mention they're looking into all options that bring value for Etsy. I don't think they're going to put up the fees, but I can't promise it. Dulcie, I use the mock-up from the print on demand company, but end up changing the surrounding elements of it. Sometimes the mock-up is blurry, which causes whole other lines of issues when creating thumbnails. Yeah. I think they've changed their policy here. I think it was pretty clear what they said before, and I think and I'm happy. I think due to all of the complaints and all of the chatter that's going on with this, they've changed their policy. But they're saying, oh, nothing's changed. We're just making it clearer. It's like, no, there's definitely stuff changed here. We'll get into some more of that. Brenda, the blur factor was the whole reason I started doing my own photos. That is a thing. If you're really proud of the work you're doing, it's possibly not a bad, it's a really good idea to buy some of your own stuff to see what the quality is like and to take your own photos. Harlow, timing is interesting. Almost time for the Q2 investors report. Yep, just said that half an hour ago. 90s person, maybe the fees will go down. Maybe. You did a funny. Dulcie, sometimes I take the blank and Photoshop my pattern onto it so the image comes out more crisp. Yeah, this is the problem with mock-ups for print on demand things, though, is Photoshop. I'm not, this is just me thinking out loud, but photoshopping the image onto it or using a mock-up or whatever else, the problem is the print quality might not be as good as that. So always check that the print quality is good. I've seen quite a lot of people, totally understandably, have some beautiful intricate designs, and then when they get them printed onto something, it actually doesn't print that well. Maybe on the t-shirt that the quality they wanted, or the mug with the quality, it just doesn't print out like the image you had on your screen, because that's how printing works. So it is worth having a look. The blurry image you get might actually be better than the quality of what's been printed out. Dulcie, they want people's pictures to look like exactly what the customer will be receiving, not a mock-up on a different t-shirt and stuff. Yeah, I agree. they don't want it to look like a mass-produced item with more than one person has the same mock-up. It's tricky. Dulcie, I purposefully dull down the image for the material it's made to be printed on. That's just bad Photoshop work. Brilliant. Yeah, Brenda, I've seen so many of the exact same mock-ups of the same blonde woman. Definitely makes it look mass-produced. And also, it looks like Temu. It looks like Shein. I don't know if you pull up like summer dresses on Temu, it's the exact same person wearing the exact same thing, and basically they've used Photoshop or whatever to cut out the shape of the dress and put the image that they say they're going to be printing like on 100 times. And if this is the hilarious one, if the dress has pockets, all they do to demonstrate that is cut off the hand of the model. So we don't, I don't care what Etsy lets us away with or whatever. I think as sellers, we shouldn't want our items to look like that. Brenda, like Starla says, think about your purple cow so you stand out. Yeah, stand out as... This is the interesting thing. My word of the year for this year was authenticity, and a few other people came up with the same word as well. And it's been an interesting thing that I follow a lot of people that make like product videos. I can't remember words. It's been a long day. They make product videos, and they're saying that customers are now clicking less on the beautifully slick videos and slick pictures, and they want the more realistic looking ones. So the thing is, a lot of people are like, oh, but if I use that, if I take my own pictures, it doesn't look as good, but it looks more real. And customers are liking the authentic. Just fill in the correct words when I'm speaking here. The authentic, there's one. Customers are liking the authentic looking things. So yeah, or the size of the design is different or placed in different spot. Yeah, Dulcie, these mock-ups look like Shein, and I'm sure Shein has also used the same mock-ups. Absolutely. Wonder if they'll implement the first listing image policy for digital downloads. When I search digital downloads, 99.9% of listings have a physical image first. Yeah, we'll see. Definitely, that is something. I didn't even ask about digital downloads, but the person I was talking to on Etsy said, like, shouted that one at me. The first image has to be the digital item, not a mock-up. So it'll be interested to see. Yeah, I've seen some bad POD oopsies. Brenda, photography is a skill like anything else. The more you practice, the better you get at it. Absolutely. And it's something that it's easy to practice. Like, how many of us, I want to hands up in the chat, please. How many of us have a mobile phone that has the ability to take pictures? And if you have a mobile phone that has an ability to take pictures, you're more than capable of taking your own pictures. And the amazing thing is, like, there's something I do. I say, right, I'm going to be working today. I'm going to work on my photography skill, and I'll go for a walk and I'll take pictures of things with my phone. Like, I try and take, wherever I'm going, whatever, take some pictures and look at, oh, what if the angle's like that? What if the angle's like that? But don't even think about it too much. Just look at what's good. And it's even really easy to sort of test things by, you put up your photographs and see which ones get the most likes from your friends and go like, oh, that was a good picture. Yeah, okay, we finished that. I'm going to get so distracted and we're never even going to get through this. Anyway, Here we go. Examples of items that qualify as made by a seller: handcrafted bowl, hand altered t shirt, hand assembled keychain, wooden decor made by a seller using automated tools, a laser cutter, and made by a seller with automated tools, a 3D printer. So, Brian, cursed by design, you're still okay, which we knew he would be with his 3D printer. Examples of things that don't qualify as made by a seller: a commercially available face mask with a single sticker added. They are saying a single sticker. I wonder if you covered the thing with stickers, or as I saw at the start of the pandemic, where people covered the face mask with things like pins that went through the mask. Because, yeah, germs will avoid the anyway, a Lego set assembled according to the manufacturer's instructions. Right, let's see what designed by a seller is. Sellers' original designs that are produced or printed by a third party or offered as a digital download. So that does sound like digital art is going to be designed by a seller, not handmade. Digital downloads of sellers' original designs, original content created by the seller, sold as a digital download. For example, a digital file of a seller's unique graphic design, audio, text document, or scanned copy of physical artwork. Okay, yeah, so even if you're painting a picture yourself, if you scan it and sell it as a digital download, then it's designed by the seller, not made by the seller. Sellers' original designs produced by a production partner. Original designs created by a seller and produced with the assistance of a production partner. You must disclose it and provide accurate information about where it's dispatched from. Unique dress designed by a seller, reproduced at scale by a production partner. Colouring book designed and illustrated by the seller and printed and bound by a production partner. A graphic logo created by a seller and printed on a phone case by a third-party printer. So that last one is print on demand, pretty much, isn't it? Seller prompted AI creations that were generated using AI tools, e.g., AI image generators such as DALL-E, based on the seller's original prompts. Sellers must disclose within their listing description an item is created with the use of AI. Okay, so yeah, people are going to be mad about that. In the same category as people who hand draw an item and scan it, AI creators, it's all in the same category. Losing my voice already. The following examples do not qualify as designed by a seller. Selling a bundle, collection, scan, or PDF of someone else's work as a digital download, except qualifying vintage items. Using pre-existing design or choosing from a production partner's ready-made templates, except in the case of personalized by the buyer, see sourced by a seller. AI prompt bundles. Okay, yeah, so using pre-existing designs or choosing ready-made templates. Oh, sorry, I'm fidgeting. Could only be used in items personalized by a buyer, because there's an awful lot of people who just buy like a single Creative Fabrica design and then get it printed out. So now this sounds like pre-existing design. Yeah, there's going to be a gray area here about how much of a design you've added, I guess. Let's just check the chat. Listing him. Yeah, that's reiterating the listing image requirements. Examples of what is designed by a seller: AI art, a seller's unique design printed on a blanket. Yeah, they could have chosen something Anyway, wedding invitations designed by a seller and provided as a digital download. Items that don't qualify, prompt bundles, a PDF file of a book that the seller didn't personally create or design. Well, yeah, it's not theft. There are people selling commercial licenses to these things, but you can't sell them on Etsy. I'm just trying to check the chat. Brenda, I look back at the first sticker designs I made and they're so bad. Oh, I know. Some of our firsts of everything should be awful. It's like learning a new language. The more you speak, the better you get at it. Amy, on the topic of listing images, when listing last night, I noticed Etsy asked me if I wanted to use their tool to lighten my thumbnail. Yeah, I've just seen that they are offering a thumbnail editor. I'm sure they used to have something like this a bit more way in the past, but yes, it seems to be a thing they're rolling out. I haven't seen it yet, but I've heard of it. Yep. And then now I'm mad. Oh, yeah, I know people will be mad at this. I think a better way they can approach that is to list the materials used to create the item. Yeah, this way the AA people can out themselves and leave the painters and artists to show off their media. There should be some. They shouldn't be all the same, and people who license other people's designs can expose that too under their materials. I don't like the new thumbnail editor. You can't reposition your existing photo. They only make you crop it. I can't remember what the old one was like, but I did see you can crop it now. It's changed so much over the years. I can't remember what it used to do and what it does now. Okay, so what's hand-picked by a seller? Vintage items, items from nature, and certain collectors of items that a seller personally selected and curated for sale. This is another sort of grey area one. I'll get to it in a second, but I think there's things they're saying should be here, but I think could also be made by seller. But vintage items that are 20 plus years old, this includes digital files of scanned vintage content like photographs, books, or patterns, as long as they comply with our intellectual property policy. There's a lot of vintage digital downloads that are clearly illegal because the copyright hasn't, or the IP hasn't expired with stuff that's 20 years old. But Etsy may ask for additional photo documentation or information about vintage items in your shop, such as source, age, designer, or materials. They absolutely should. That's cool. Items from nature, one-of-a-kind natural items that the seller personally found or cultivated as long as they're permitted. Check the plants, herbs, seeds, and soil, and endangered or threatened wildlife. The item might have been mounted, potted, polished, or sliced for collection, display, or cultivation, so long as it was formed organically rather than man-made. See, that's saying it could be mounted. So if someone picks flowers, dries them, and uses them in a painting or a display of dried flowers, for me, that is handmade because there's a skill going into that. There's an artistic skill. I mean, arranging flowers, that's an art. I can't do it. And even like polishing finding rocks, polishing them, cutting them, and everything, I think that's handmade. That's my opinion. Here's the new one. Look, Etsy saying they're not changing what's allowed. I think this very much is. Tell me if I'm hallucinating the old policy. Gift baskets, an assortment of different types of items that the seller personally selected and creatively packaged to create new unique set. Gift baskets must have a clear theme that ties together a variety of different types of items that were individually selected by the seller. Generic concepts such as candy, clothes, or mystery boxes, which were never allowed, do not qualify as a gift basket. Qualifies gift basket themes. Sellers must list every item contained in a curated gift basket or box in the listing description, e.g., new dog parent, themed gift box containing an assortment of dog treats, dog basket, leash, and dog-themed coffee mug. I am sure this wasn't allowed before. You could have gift baskets so long as you handmade the stuff. You couldn't curate a gift basket. Let me know. Is this? I am sure, because Josh said at the start of this that there was nothing changed, no new things were allowed to be sold. They were just clarifying their policies, and I call BS here. I swear this wasn't allowed. Let me know. If you don't have the creative license to reproduce designs, why would one not want to show off if you have the creative license? Yes, got it. Stone and wood carving is taught in art school, just FYI. Yeah, exactly. I think that's handmade by you, not what section are we in now? Not hand-picked. A pretty rock that you go, oh, that's a pretty rock. It came naturally out of the river in an interesting shape. That's hand-picked. But carving it? Yeah, I think. Kirsten. Right, if I make a gift basket bundle with the items I handmade, it's going to be flagged for being in the wrong category. I would assume that that's still made by you. Pink Rhino, I see gift baskets or sets all the time. They weren't allowed. I don't think they were allowed. I know they were there. You weren't allowed to have a surprise box. It might have changed recently. I'm going to look for the old policies, because I swear it used to say that gift baskets had to contain stuff that you handmade, not just put things together. It could be wrong. Anyway, it looks like you. So maybe they changed that recently. And when I say recently, that's probably like in the past 5 years. My memory's awful. But anyway, it is allowed now for sure. The following are examples of items that don't qualify as handpicked by a seller. Reselling commercially available items that are newer than 20 years old, even if the item is designed to appear vintage. Reselling commercially available gift baskets or gift baskets with a single item type from a single commercial brand, opposed to a collection of different items. Handpick the seller must use photo or video content of the real final product. So here's things that would be in handpicked by a seller: a geode, a vintage jacket, an assortment of dried flowers, a book lover's gift basket. So that's what they're saying there. And stuff that's not allowed: mystery boxes were never allowed, I know that, and gift baskets with items from one commercial brand. Okay, so yeah, they're showing all flakes there, but with items from one commercial brand, couldn't you have a Cadbury's Lovers box? Probably not, because there's IP issues there. But yes, it's saying one brand, not just one item. Excuse I. Sourced by a seller. Kirsten, so a wreath's going to be hand-picked instead of handmade. I am pretty sure they should be made with a seller. Handmade, the top one, whatever it's called now. But their policy does sound like a wreath should be handpicked. And Pink Rhino, yeah, they're taking the handpicked literally with flowers. And yeah, what if you buy the dried flowers from someone else? See, that's there's too many grey areas. If you buy the dried flowers from someone else and make them into a wreath, that's handmade. But if you dry the flowers yourself, that's picked. But I don't know. Anyone who's affected by this will need to contact Etsy, is all I can think of. Sourced by a seller, items that enable buyer creativity, including craft and party supplies and items that are personalized with a buyer's custom text or image. So, yeah, that's sourced, which it does make sense, but I don't think basically telling, like, someone sends you a picture of their dog and you don't do any design work to it, you just send it to your print on demand company. Why doesn't Etsy just cut out the middleman and say, go to this print on demand company? Items sourced by a seller include only. Again, include only is a funny wording because we've just seen there's grey areas. We're covering grey areas. Craft supplies, tools or material whose primary purpose is to create new items by hand. Party supplies, items whose primary purpose is to decorate special events to give it a unique or personal aesthetic. Buyer personalized items or items produced by a production partner. Items created using a buyer's unique text or images produced by a production partner, e.g. a t-shirt, hat, or neon sign that can be personalized with a buyer's name or special phrase. So yeah, that's personalized print on demand. But what if you made the design and they're personalizing it by adding some words to it? I assume that pushes it up. You know, the hierarchy of what it says your thing is. The following examples don't qualify. Generic resold items that have everyday uses, such as plain furniture, stage lights, or speakers, are not party supplies. Resold blank items that are ready to use without craft interventions, such as blank t-shirts, hats, or tumblers. Yeah, they were never allowed to be sold on Etsy. They were always sold on Etsy. Listings must have photo or video content of the items you have for sale, not stock or commercial images. That's interesting because in this category, you can use things that are produced by a production partner, but items sourced by a seller must use photo or video content of the items you have for sale. It doesn't talk about print mock-ups. Don't know, because I think that's not a final, that's a mock-up of something, isn't it? You can you can see. But here's some things, and yeah, you can't just sell t-shirts that are blank. Okay, right. So that's the categories. Clear as mud, everyone. Did we go through everything here? Yeah. So you're getting, so it's going to say now made by you or designed by you. And yeah, here we go. No action is needed for this item detail rollout. We've used all existing data to begin testing. So having more detailed information will help us moving forwards. That's why we've provided an expanded set of options in the listing form. It must be rolling out. I don't see it yet. As soon as you've got it, I would definitely change some of your listings, make a start on it. For now, these listing form additions don't change what buyers see and won't impact the placement of your listings in search. Nice one, Etsy. You've heard the complaints. So you can change the things and it won't hurt your SEO. This is just the beginning. Our teams will use the added info to improve the shopping experience for buyers in the future. So there's going to be more coming. We're currently working on enabling buyers to browse and narrow inventory more easily as it relates to the seller's work and item category. We're seeing a test just now, or a glitch, definitely a glitch just now, whereas a lot of things you're searching for automatically is putting up the filter of physical product. So digital people are falling off the map. Anyway, You can share your feedback in a survey here. So this is the Etsy Seller Handbook article. If you're not, you can find it through the link I've put in the description, or always going to the forums. There's always links to those things here. Are we nearly through this? Back to here. Yeah. We're getting there. I don't. We'll see what we're doing. Let's check the chat. Kristen, it seems they want to be more clear, and yet it feels just more confusing. That is a problem when you try and clarify everything for such a vast marketplace. Pink Rhino, like, I understand the general idea and I'm not mad, but when you really get into the weeds, it gets confusing. Yeah. If this impacts you, absolutely I mean, it impacts all of us, but if you're in a gray area, like, I know where my items are going to land. Most of you probably know where your items should be. But if you're in any kind of gray area, talk to Etsy, fill in their forms, have words. I'm so tired of seeing vintage, but it's actually a POD shirt of a vintage design. Absolutely. Yeah, and it's probably not even the seller that's listing things wrong. Just simply they're saying a vintage style shirt somewhere in the title, and Etsy goes, woohoo, vintage. But yeah, it's vintage expired. My products are automatically identified as designed by, which is wrong, but I can't change them to made by. Link in the description to what Etsy's done. You might have to click through to the articles. Yeah, the Seller Handbook article. Fill in the survey. Also message Etsy chat. Dulcie, I'm pretty sure that was a POD mock-up. Yep. Retro style is how I describe my stuff, says Speedy Bird Heavy. Pink Rhino, yeah, if they categorize you wrong, do we just reach out to support? Yes, reach out to support and fill in their surveys. The new menu the new option should appear, and it's saying that we are going to be able to fill in our right things there as well. So as soon as that appears, any of your listings that are showing wrong, go in to edit your listing, and it should have the option. It's saying it's not changing what the customer sees, but Etsy will hear what you're saying, and hopefully they'll fix the things that are in conflict. So Amy saying you've had the new menu appear within the last few days. Can't tell you which, as I'm so tired. Oh, yeah, I feel you. Dulcie, don't see why Etsy doesn't offer two material section, one for the product, one for the design behind the product and what was used. That would solve many issues, confusion, and accomplish more transparency. Interesting, yeah. Brenda uses retro instead of vintage. Yep. Pink Rhino, just checked my 3D printed items I make. They say designed by. Yeah, clearly wrong category. It should be made by, definitely. Okay, so we've gone through all of them. We're excited to add more options to the listing forum for sharing details about your processes, materials, and tools. So there is more stuff coming, which will be interesting. Absolutely. I want to stress this is just the start of our work to elevate your role in our marketplace. We're also exploring better how to highlight it in areas such as search, discovery, and new marketing experiences. We believe this will better meet buyer expectations and help them find the exact type of item they're looking for. From artisanal pieces crafted by your two hands to production-assisted items personalized to perfection. I think, guys, just popping into my head here, I think there's going to be a few more changes before the Q2 report comes out. And then some more over the rest of the summer. So we plan to be busy. Additionally, the seller community told us it can feel like a black box. So we're search can feel like a black box. So we're providing more actionable insights to help you improve the visibility of your listings. I spoke about this a couple of weeks ago from the Josh Silverman interview with Bernstein. They are talking, it's basically going to be, as far as I can tell, like a little checkbox of saying, here are the things that you've done that will help your listing rank higher, and here are the things that you should do a bit more of. I have thoughts, but we'll see how it pans out. We've identified specific factors that signal a high quality listing on Etsy, and we're getting ready to spell these out more than ever. Yeah, you can ensure your listings get seen and, most importantly, sold. Stay tuned for more information on that later this summer. So soon, pretty much this summer. Spotlighting you, the heart of our marketplace. Okay, yeah, I've been on here for ages. So Etsy's doing some new marketing campaigns that are going to feature the seller, saying this is crafted by this person. I think this is really cool. What it's telling me is we really, really need to, where we can, feature how handmade our items is. I've been saying this for a while, but like buyers were searching for handmade jewelry, handmade this. So in your listing photos, show yourself. In your videos, even just your hands, but show there's a person there. Check your about section and really tell your story. You can even have a video in your about section. Look into doing that, because Etsy is saying this is what they're doing in their ads. Now, the chance of them picking us is very slim, but if they pick us, that's kind of good. But also, it's what buyers want to know they're buying from you. So better a slightly more rubbish picture of you with your item, a video of you creating your item, better that than a slick mock-up that looks exactly like what Timu's using. Etsy's going to be doing some more Etsy Up things. Virtual Seller Conference returns on September the 10th. It was one of their webinars that caused the whole issue with me and customer support in the first place. But anyway, definitely worth joining in. I will be covering it on September the 11th or something. Etsy Design Awards. I've never got involved in these, but we'll see. But yeah, that's what Josh was saying. Okay, I forget the buttons. I've not fallen asleep yet. So, right, we've gone through that. I hope that was interesting. If you have any more questions, I'll hang around for 5 or 10 more minutes. I think it's kind of positive, but confusing. There's going to be some gray areas, and yeah, there's going to be some mistakes, as we're seeing already. So we have to be proactive. As soon as you get the option to put what category your item's supposed to be in, put your item in that category. If it's wrong just now, message Etsy, give them feedback on it. If you're unclear, if the policies are unclear and you're in a gray area, go shout at Etsy. I don't mean in a nasty way, but we need, the more voices they hear about the things that are wrong, the quicker they're going to fix it. And we want things fixed in the summer, before Q4, before Q3 even. We're in Q3, aren't we? We want things fixed as soon as possible, because it's about to get busy, and you don't want your shop not showing up to the new buyers coming in because you've been put in a wrong category or something. That's my feelings. It could be positive. I look forward to them sorting things out so that you can tell the difference. I'm not mad about how they're placing things just now that, yeah, I've mentioned things. So just check the chat. If you have any questions, get them in just now. Mabel the Hoodoo. I always get that wrong, is here. Hello there. Speedy Bird Heavy. Sorry, I have to say your name quickly because it says Speedy Bird Heavy. Maybe Etsy could do what Google Shopping does, require sellers to say whether an item is new or used. That would help identify true vintage. We are supposed to say if an item is vintage, but people tell porcupines, and Etsy itself, like the search doesn't always work like it's supposed to. Prince Potion, sourced by a seller, sounds like an excuse to let mass-produced and drop shipping continue to happen. I mean, they do specifically say that drop shipping shouldn't be, but I do get the feeling that things are getting a little bit more. It's not tightening up the regulations. I'll say that. Mabel, I'm just joining, so I'm a bit behind. My new options show the core details, physical item. Hit the change button to see the new options. Yeah, I think they're rolling it out. I definitely didn't see it this afternoon, but I haven't checked since because I've been super busy. But yeah, check and see in your listing, everybody. But hi there, Mabel. Yeah, they could have chosen a better way to phrase things. Literally all shops that sell things are sourced by the seller. Exactly. Dulcie, I'm going to put my time-lapse videos in my listing videos to show I draw my own work. The time-lapse is awesome. I've argued this so much. Every single thing that you make can have a listing video. You just have to think about it. And look, on places that I know Canva, so you can do it on Canva, but there's other places. In the Magic Design Studio, you can make a product video by basically dropping 5 photos into Canva, saying what the item is, and Canva will make you a product video just of do like zooms in and put text on it and things. So there's no excuse. If you can photograph an item, you can make a video of it. Or if you can have JPEGs or PNGs of your item, you can have videos of it. Dulcie, you need a good night's rest, Pam. I know. Sorry, it doesn't feel like Q3. It doesn't seem like their call chat support even knows about the update. Left hand doesn't know what the right hand's doing. Yep. I wish one could have done it on Photoshop back in the day. I might show my sketchbook sketches instead for those. See if you're using something like Photoshop, if you've, like, we don't all, I don't do it properly, but if you do the recommended method for doing stuff on Photoshop is you should have layers. You can use a screen recording software, Canva do it, plenty of other places do it, and basically record your screen and just remove the layers, and you get a sort of time lapse of the, do it the other, well, add the layers on, and you get like a time lapse of the changes you made anyway. I know I don't do Photoshop in the non-destructive way, adding layers like you're supposed to, but if you have a lot of layers, you could do that. Pink Rhino chat asked for screenshots. Oh, I feel sorry for them. It's chat haven't been trained in this. Clearly, yeah, this is a big update that not everyone's been trained up on in time. I can't. I totally understand. I can't have a go at chat. It's not their fault. Certain people behind the scenes have been working on things. Obviously, the person I'm talking to in customer support had a slight idea of some of the changes, but the bottom level of the team are coming in and seeing new articles without having been told about it, by the sounds of it. Dulcie, I could show people my layers. Cheeky. Dulcie, I learnt to paint oil traditionally first. My Photoshop layers are all over the place. Yeah, It's not just you. The Photoshop layers appear in the wrong place. Yeah, Adobe. It's like the good old days of, do you remember in Word where you drop an image into a document and it would appear somewhere absolutely not where you'd put it? I feel that with layers. I start working on a layer and suddenly I'm drawing a completely different layer. Yeah, Pink Rhino, go through your listings. Some of mine are right, but there are wrong ones which will take some time to sift. Yeah, we've got to check where our listings are showing, made by, sourced by, and make sure they're in the right category, because Etsy is clearly planning to do something with this data. I'm not sure what they are talking about, changing how they show things to customers, to people searching. So we have to be in the right place to be shown to the right people, and sort of make sure you're in the highest level of this hierarchy as you can. Because yeah, definitely that's what I think anyway. Brenda, or you get a smudge when drawing and have to go through the layers to figure out where it is. Absolutely. Pink Rhino, I feel like they're going to make a search drop down or button for these things, probably, or a filter. Josh used the word carousel. Just saying. Josh has used search and carousel in the same sentence. Who knows? But yeah, so it sounds, I think if you're in the wrong category, you'll be shown with things you shouldn't be being shown for, whichever method they go for. Okay, I've been on for an hour and 45 minutes, and it feels like it. But I hope that helped. Sometimes it's nice just to talk through the nonsense. And yeah, I learned something because I thought gift boxes still weren't allowed or something. I'll check through the old Wayback Machine and find out about that. Oh, Pink Rhino. Thanks for waiting. I was checking your resources, and I'd like to kindly explain you that at this time, as much as we'd love to have like to kindly explain you that at this time, as much as we would love to have an option to modify this information manually, got it. I'm afraid that this is an internal process and we don't have a way to. So chat aren't able to change where your listings are shown, what category they're in. I think it's still worth telling them about it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Good night, guys. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. It has been fun for me. I'm very tired now, though. Okay, so I will leave it. But if you have more questions, leave them in the chat here. Come and join me in Starla on Thursday, and I will update everything I can for this Saturday Etsy news as well. But yeah, I'm going to sleep. Night, guys.